We often think that for a big certification exam, knowing the material is everything, but for something like the CompTIA Security Plus exam, it turns out that most people who fail don't fail because of a lack of knowledge. They fail because they don't have a solid pacing strategy.
Right. It's a fascinating problem. You can know all the cybersecurity concepts in the world, but if you don't know how to navigate the test itself, you're at a huge disadvantage.
The latest version, SY0-701, is a 90-minute test with up to 90 questions. You need a score of 750 out of 900. But the real challenge isn't just the content, which is spread across 5 domains like threats and vulnerabilities or security operations. The killer is the structure.
So, it's not just about knowing cybersecurity. It's about knowing how times, to take this specific test. The structure itself is a major hurdle.
Exactly, and the fact that over half of first-time test takers without classroom training don't pass really underscores that this isn't just a knowledge dump. It's a test of strategic thinking under pressure.
That makes sense. It sounds like the exam designers are actively trying to filter out those who just memorize facts versus those who can actually apply concepts, especially with those performance-based questions.
Absolutely. That strategic element, particularly with those demanding performance-based questions, is key. So, let's dive into what exactly these PBQs are and why they're such a big deal for Security Plus success.
Got it. These are the make or break part of the exam.
Performance-based questions, or PBQs, are the toughest and most critical part of the Security Plus exam. They're designed to show how well you can apply security concepts in real situations, appearing right at the start and taking about 10 to 15 minutes each. These aren't standard multiple choice. They involve simulated environments where you might configure firewalls, analyze logs, or respond to security incidents, and they carry more weight in your final score.
So, these PBQs are essentially mini simulations that mimic what a cybersecurity professional actually does on the job. They're testing practical skills, not just recall. It's like, instead of asking you what is a firewall rule, they put you in front of a console and say, okay, secure this network.
Exactly. And the text highlights that these questions often have multiple times valid solutions, just like real-world scenarios. This means you're not just looking for a single right answer, but a well-reasoned, effective solution within the given constraints.
That really distinguishes it from traditional exams. It's about problem solving and critical thinking under pressure, which is what employers actually look for. You can't just cram flashcards and expect to pass this part.
Precisely. And because they're so critical and time-consuming, mastering them requires a specific strategy, especially when it comes to time management. Let's break down how to tackle that 90-minute window effectively.
Yeah, that 1 minute per question average is very misleading when you have these huge tasks in the mix.
With only 90 minutes for up to 90 questions, time management is your secret weapon on the Security Plus exam. A suggested strategy is to spend the first 5 minutes getting an overview, then 30 to 40 minutes on faster multiple choice questions, and dedicating the remaining 50 to 60 minutes to the longer PBQs that appear first. The exam allows you to move between questions so you can play to your strengths.
So, you're not just blindly going in order. You're actively managing your time and prioritizing to maximize your score within that tight window. I like the idea of banking points on the quicker questions first to build confidence.
Exactly. And the text emphasizes avoiding time traps like overly detailed scenario questions or those PBQs which, get this, don't have visible timers that can easily eat up your clock. It also stresses that CompTIA doesn't penalize wrong answers, so you should always guess rather than leave something blank.
That guess, if unsure advice, is huge. It completely flips the script from I don't know, so I won't answer to I don't know, but I'll take a shot and try to eliminate wrong answers. It's purely about maximizing points, which is a game in itself.
Absolutely, pacing isn't just a exam day skill, it needs to be built during preparation. So, how do you actually train for this kind of high-pressure, timed environment?
That's the real question. It's one thing to know the strategy, it's another to execute it.
To truly succeed on Security Plus, your study plan needs to be strategic. It's about more than just learning the material. You need to use official CompTIA exam objectives as your guide, splitting study time based on domain weights like threats and vulnerabilities at 22% and security operations at 28%. Regular practice exams are key, aiming for 7, 5, 85% on them, and critically, reviewing every mistake in an error log.
I see. It's about targeted studying based on the exam's own blueprint, and then rigorously testing yourself and learning from every single error. That error log is a goldmine for figuring out your weak spots.
And the text emphasizes the power of hands-on labs for mastering those tricky PBQs, noting that students retain up to 75% more information with active practice. Official labs cost around €87, but many tools are free. This practical application is what truly bridges the gap between theory and exam success.
That 75% retention figure is massive. It highlights that for a practical certification like Security Plus, passive learning just won't cut it. You have to times it. Reading about a firewall is completely different from actually configuring one under pressure.
Absolutely. And as exam day approaches, the final week is about fine-tuning, focusing on weak areas, and prioritizing rest and nutrition over cramming. It's a holistic approach to readiness. So, to wrap this all up, what are the essential takeaways for anyone tackling this exam?
I think it boils down to a few key things. First, know that the exam is a test of strategy, not just knowledge. You need a pacing plan for those 90 minutes. Second, those performance-based questions, or PBQs, are critical. They appear first, are worth more points, and require hands-on practice. So don't neglect labs. Third, use timed practice exams constantly and aim for a score between 75–85% before you feel ready. And review every single mistake. Finally, don't cram. The final week is for light review, rest, and getting your mind right. It's a marathon prep for a sprint of an exam.